They tried to silence him. They erased his name. But he rebuilt from nothing. He fought every algorithm. They tried again and failed. Now he's back, stronger. From blackout to spotlight, he's at the White House, at the top of his game. Franchi lives.
You are about to enter another dimension, the dimension of truth, unfiltered and uncensored. Welcome to the Raw Feed with Gary Franchi.
Tonight, it breaks. The Raw Feed starts now.
Welcome to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi, coming to you live from the heart of America. Unfiltered truth to millions on YouTube. Hit those donation links below. Every contribution powers our gear. Every contribution keeps the party going. Help me help you. Hit those donation links. YouTube channel memberships. Special acknowledgement in the fellowship. Your super chats keep me standing. Your Rumble rants fuel every round.
Say hello to super chats.
Spread the intel. Every repost extends our reach.
Super chats fuel this spectacle. Your Rumble rants give me strength.
24/7 members-only community, behind-the-scenes discussions.
Connect with fellow patriots.
Share this via text message. Send it to your friends. Text bypasses everything. Just do it. The app is real. Download the Next News Network app. Android users, take the Google Play path. iPhone users, App Store awaits. Breaking news in real time.
They're cutting off the food supply while robots prepare to replace the workforce. And somehow that's not even the craziest story today. Welcome to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi. On this day in 1929, October 29th, America experienced Black Tuesday, the stock market crash that launched the Great Depression. Millions of Americans suddenly found themselves without job savings, without hope. Breadlines stretched for blocks. Families lost everything. The government's response, they made it worse with failed policies that extended the suffering for a decade. 96 years later, history doesn't repeat, but it sure does rhyme. Today, we're witnessing another government-manufactured crisis as day 29 of the Democrats' snap shutdown unleashes chaos across America. Food banks are overwhelmed. Grocery stores in urban areas report theft spikes of 300%. Single mothers are choosing between feeding their kids and paying rent. In Detroit, Philadelphia, and Baltimore, crowds have begun gathering outside government buildings demanding their benefits. The powder keg is lit, and they won't just be protests for long. We're talking about hunger riots. When you take away 42 million Americans' ability to eat, that's what you get. Speaking of machines, let me tell you about the silicon overlords preparing to take your job. Elon Musk says his Optimus robot will be the largest product ever to launch. Not the iPhone, not the automobile, a humanoid worker that never sleeps, never complains, and probably never votes Republican. Meanwhile, Norway's 1X Technologies is already taking orders for their $20,000 Neo robot. It'll do your laundry, serve your meals, and oh yeah, some stranger wearing a VR headset can watch everything through its eyes. Privacy sold separately. But while they're building our mechanical replacements, the current administration can't even sign its own paperwork. The House Oversight Committee just dropped the bomb. Joe Biden's presidency was literally run by staffers with an auto pen. No meetings, no decisions, no actual president, just unelected bureaucrats stamping Biden's name on executive orders while he wandered the residence. Representative James Comer says it's straight. No one ever got direction from Joe Biden. And when Republicans try to investigate, Whoopi Goldberg loses her mind on The View, shrieking about leaving a man who's no longer in office alone. The same woman who cheered while Democrats raided Trump's home now wants us to move on. The hypocrisy is so thick you could cut it with one of those food stamps they just canceled. And in Chicago, the border war has come home. Commander Greg Bovino's Operation Midway Blitz has nabbed over 3,000 illegals while Democrat officials create purge lists targeting ICE agents. A congressional candidate just got federally indicted for attacking Border Patrol, and now she's responding. The mayor calls enforcing immigration law racist while stealing money from black mothers to pay for migrant hotels. Mark Vargas joins us with exclusive details on all of this insanity. Meanwhile, President Trump is cleaning house at the Federal Reserve. Jerome Powell just cut rates again. Too little, too late for an economy in freefall. Trump's message, you're fired. The president promises to return to the days when good news meant markets went up, not Fed manipulation. He's already got Japan funding American shipbuilding while Powell admits car loan defaults are exploding. Some soft landing, right? The robots are coming. The signatures were fake. The border's broken. The Fed is failing. And somehow they want you to believe everything is just fine. From bread lines to production lines. From auto pen fraud to border wars. From Fed failures to mechanical workers. October 29th, 2025 is shaping up to be another Black Tuesday. Except this time the crash isn't just financial. It's institutional. It's constitutional. And it's existential. The establishment thought they could fake a presidency, import a new population, and replace American workers with machines. Well, they thought wrong. The revolution is not coming. It's already here, and we're documenting every single minute of it. So stay with us for the full show. This is your Raw Feed, where the truth still matters, where the signatures are real, and humans still have jobs. Let's get started by welcoming you to the show. We got Karen in the house. We got Bill's Rules, Kim Weig, Peggy, Dylan, Vicky, Tim, Damon. Who else is in the house tonight? Pothead Kenny, Mrs. Pothead Kenny, Papa Guth, Sid, Bobby, one and only Rhonda Don, Thomas, Michael, Johnny, Fitch, Julie, D Nice, Scooby, John, Kat, Overeducated, Erica, AJ, Karen, Dylan, All-American Patriot, Michael, Planet X, Mike Brady, Johnny Rodriguez, Gary Fernandez, Ericer, Patriot Independence, Richard Pidwell, Uriel Aurora, Robert West, Wayne Manhart, Dance King, Ray Leo, John Nixon, Santos Oliver, Patricia Duff, Magic Wanden, All-American Patriot, Auden, Sid Luscious, All-American, Vicky, Techman, Ted Brady, Dr. Red Pill. The gang is all filing in. What's up? Hans, Halo 2, Jay. Good to see everybody in the house. What's up, ETSE there too? And I guess it's a birthday today. Jeremy Oliver, celebrate his birthday. Happy birthday to you, sir. We got a lot of news to get into, so let's just jump right into it. There was a super chat I noticed from Tom B420 right out the gate, putting us at $5. Thank you, Tom B. Our goal tonight, as is every night, is $100. So I hope you will help us reach that goal. You guys always come through, and I'm always thankful for it. Now, let's get into it. They said it couldn't happen here. They said America would never see breadlines again. They were wrong. Day 29 of the Democrat-engineered snap shutdown has 42 million Americans staring at empty refrigerators. Major retailers are boarding up windows. Police departments report organized looting threats spreading on social media. Flash mob thefts are overwhelming security. What started as a budget standoff has morphed into something much darker, a deliberate attack on America's most vulnerable. Now, the establishment media won't show you the chaos erupting in grocery stores. They won't tell you about the coordinated theft rings forming in urban centers. But we've got the footage that they're hiding. We have the truth that they're burying. And Mark Vargas is about to break it all down. And when government food programs fail and looting threatens your neighborhood stores, there's only one thing that matters: being prepared. That's why I've partnered with My Patriot Supply to bring you the ultimate insurance policy against chaos. Their 3-month emergency food kit feeds your entire family when shelves are stripped bare by desperate mobs. 25-year shelf life, 2,000 calories a day, real food that actually tastes good. No MSG, no junk, just nutrition when society breaks down. And right now you can save $100 at preparewithgary.com. Look at what's happening. SNAP benefits are gone, stores being ransacked, families going hungry. This is not fear-mongering. This is reality. So don't wait for the government to save you. They created this mess. Visit preparewithgary.com today and protect your family before the looters reach your neighborhood. You'll find it linked in the description. Now, I sat down with Mark Vargas today to discuss what is going on in the country. And I'm going to get to his reaction on the EBT riots that are about to happen. SNAP funds vanishing, viral videos show people bragging about looting. Watch this. Listen to this. As the shutdown cuts EBT benefits, we're seeing shocking videos of people actually preparing to riot and loot across America. This woman here actually bragged about stealing her Thanksgiving dinner. Listen to this.
Food stamps right before Thanksgiving. Trump cutting off food stamps right before Thanksgiving, bad and all, but my people ran out of stores. With the cart full, I bet it's going to be some turkey on my plate. Ham, mashed potatoes, greens, dressing. It's going to all be there. Don't worry about it. Trump cutting off
Mark,
food.
okay, these videos are everywhere. Is this what Democrat shutdown has unleashed?
Yeah, the Democrat shutdown, they want violence. The D for Democrat Party stands for destruction and death. Let's not forget that the Democrats are the ones that continue to keep this government shut down over one issue and one issue alone: providing free health care for illegal aliens. So money that could have been provided for this woman or other women, for their families, for their children, for maternal health, and predominantly black communities that have a high infant mortality rate in like Chicago, that money is being pulled away so that $2.5 billion in Illinois, for example, can line the pockets and provide free health care for illegal aliens. Democrats want death. They want destruction. They want violence and anarchy on the streets. Gary, let me read this to you real quick. Look, these are Democratic members of Congress. I'll provide just a couple of these quotes. Democrat Whip Catherine Clark: "Of course there will be families that are going to suffer, but it is one of the few leverages that we have. Senator Chuck Schumer, every day gets better for us. Senator Bernie Sanders, lastly, if you reopen the government, we lose all of their leverage. So they're using 42 million Americans as leverage, as political leverage to keep the government shut down because the Republicans and President Donald Trump refuse to add funding in the U.S. budget to provide free health care for illegal aliens. This is all on purpose.
It's all on purpose. And Mark also reacting to CNN, strangely, actually pushing back on a Democrat on their narrative. Watch this. Anchor. Now, Mark, even CNN is admitting the truth about Democrats starving children. I think when you lose CNN, you've lost the plot. Watch this explosive exchange between Representative Stansbury and CNN's anchor.
Solution. Should the Democratic senators from New Mexico, your home state, vote to open the government so that these SNAP funds are not at risk?
Let me be clear. The administration is choosing to starve American children with money that they already have appropriated.
I'm not applauding their tactics.
By the White House.
Well,
this is a choice by the White House.
This is also, Congresswoman, this is also a choice by Senate Democrats to not vote to open the government. Yes, it is. I understand why they're doing it. They're doing it because they want Medicaid funds restored. They're doing it because they want Obamacare premiums to be extended past the end of the year. I understand the reasoning.
Sir, let me just be clear. The money for contingency plans is sitting there. That is why the states are suing. The White House is withholding funds from
2 to
children
3 weeks worth of SNAP funds.
Food.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it may not be a big deal to you, but let me tell you that for the grandparents, for grandparents that literally are feeding their children,
my point is that it's a short-term solution.
In those accounts,
it's a short-term.
At the end of the day, people need to be able to feed their families, and Saturday is when those funds run out.
If you feel so strongly, Congresswoman, why not ask the Senate Democrats from New Mexico to vote to open the government so that the SNAP funds...
Sir, I am here in the House of Representatives. It is shut down. I am fighting to get the government reopened. I am fighting to get funding put back into SNAP that is already existent, and I am fighting for the American people. I am here. But show me a single Republican that is here. Not a single one is here to make sure that Americans are fed on Saturday. That is why I am here.
Democratic Congresswoman Melanie Stansbury from New Mexico. Should the
Okay, so there's another quote for you, Mark. And now you have CNN clearly pushing back on the narrative. I know families here in Illinois, they've already reached out to me and said, Gary, what can we do? I said, well, you need to get Tricky Dick Durbin. You need to get Tammy Duckworth. You need to put pressure on them to flip their vote. So what when you see this here with CNN now pushing back, what does this tell you?
I mean, the Democratic Party is imploding. Gary, I can show your viewers right here. This is a list of quotes of Democratic legislators that are praising the shutdown and calling it leverage. This is a good thing for us. Let's watch our polls go up. The Democrats never cared about these families that this Congresswoman's talking about, these children and young families. How do we know this? Because they've done nothing to secure our cities, major cities, Democratic-controlled cities. They don't care about families. They care about trying to score political points and, more importantly, appease the far left, like the George Soros types, the progressive liberals who have fallen so far off the reservation that they no longer align with the Democratic Party. That's who today's Democratic Party is. They're the Democratic Party of lawlessness, of death and destruction and crime, and they're using children and families as political leverage. President Trump has said, we'll talk, but Democrats have to come to the table. Democrats refuse to come to the table because they're too busy parading around on national television that this is a good thing for us.
Now, Mark, even CNN is certainly not a good thing. We also have Mark's reaction to the breaking point that's happening right now. Democrats admitting with border heroes on trial, EBT riots spreading, Democrats admitting that they're starving kids. Is this the breaking point?
I certainly hope so. I do think it's the breaking point, and we're going to see that here in the next several days when 42 million Americans lose their SNAP benefits. We'll see this again as the ACA signing up for ACA, and you've got 24 million Americans who aren't going to get the government subsidies or tax breaks for their health insurance. And this is all because of the Democrats' unwillingness to support law-abiding citizens, and instead they're willing to shut down the government, applaud themselves, pat themselves on the back for shutting down the government, and go on national television applauding their move to shut down the government. Why? Because they've placed illegal aliens over everyday law-abiding citizens. It's a shame, and they're going to see the real pain at the polls during the midterm elections.
Mark, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
With Mark Vargas dropping some serious truth and someone getting some serious truth herself, we're finding out this. Jasmine Crockett says Trump and Republicans are disrespecting federal workers.
They are disrespecting all federal workers in this moment. So is it a surprise to me when they're not getting paid that they could care less? Absolutely not. They found money for ICE, but they act like they can't find money for anybody else. They are disrespecting all federal workers in this.
Disrespecting federal workers. The U.S. Senate voting to terminate President Trump's tariffs on Canada. This is in for Republicans who voted to stop Trump's tariffs right here. The EBT riots on the horizon. And we have this from the House Republicans calling out Whip Clark. Listen to your constituents. They're fed up with you using political gain, using good people for your own political gain. You're using it. You're using people and you know it. You're dishonest. Stop it. One of our constituents.
Catherine Clark, I'm one of your constituents. I don't know how you can tell these lies to people. I don't know how you can exploit people. I don't know how you can use people, good people, children, elderly people, people with disabilities for your own political gain. Not for the people's good, not for the people's sake, for your own sake. You're lying to people and you know it. You are using people and you know it. You are dishonest and you know it. Stop it. Stop it. Catherine Clark, I'm one of your constituents.
That's just one of her constituents who is fed up. And Chuck Schumer, snapping when pressed on the snap lies and the shutdown math. Lindell TV reporter Ellison Steinberg asked if the USDA fund doesn't cover a full month of SNAP, why pretend it solves the shutdown? Ooh, smoked.
Not cost $5.
Irrespective of the dispute on whether USDA contingency funds can be used for SNAP benefits.
It is not, wait a minute, excuse me. It is not a dispute. It is fact they can use it, and the Republicans say it.
Okay, but there's, only 5 or 6 billion, and it's not cost $8 billion monthly just to administer. I mean, if anything, it would only last a couple
It does not cost $5 or $6 billion to administer. There's enough money to start feeding people right away. $6 billion's a lot of money, and they're using it for other things. $20 billion for Argentina, hundreds of millions for Kristi Noem's plane. Who are we kidding here? The bottom line is they can fund it just as in 2019, just as in other shutdowns, for a long period of time.
And they also, if the contingency fund, which is $6 billion, which gets you nearly a month, 3 weeks, runs out, then they can pass Senator Lujan or Senator Hawley's bill, both of which we support. We know that there'll be 60 votes for that. Why aren't they calling it up? They're not calling it up because the House isn't here to pass it. That's the way it works. The House would have to come here. They probably would have to vote on the Epstein files, but they're choosing to let kids go hungry instead of having to vote on the Epstein files. There's no doubt about it. They have been out for 6 weeks on vacation.
Just think, if they have all this money for Argentina and all this money for other things, they have enough money to keep funding SNAP, and they know it. And I just want to say what Lujan said. Johnson just lies. He lied about on immigration, on the undocumented. He's lying about this. He just outright lies, plain and simple. It is not illegal, and his own president has done it.
Wow, Allison Steinberg for the win on that one. Well done. Here's Secretary Kennedy talking about what parents are facing right now.
Across our country, millions of Americans struggle to afford essential medicines. Families are rationing prescriptions, seniors are skipping doses, and parents are facing heartbreaking choices between paying for medication or putting food on their tables. This is not acceptable in the United States of America. But
it's acceptable for the Democrats to continue. Here's a TikToker says security guards at stores must let people steal food.
And the good and I just want to come on here and say to you people that be standing in front of the stores and the Good Samaritans and all of that, when November 1st come, and if they don't uplift this shutdown for these SNAP benefits, I'm going to need y'all to mind y'all business. Please mind y'all business. Those people, they trying to feed their kids, and they trying to go home and just feed their kids. And I would I would hate for you to not be able to make it back to your family and for you to not be able to make it back home because you trying to save these billionaire companies, you hear me, of their funds when they actually have insurance on every box of macaroni in there. So just mind your business and go on, and if you gonna be a good Samaritan and you gonna stand there and you gonna pay and you gonna do all of that, do your part. Do your part. But for those that are out there trying to do what the fuck they gotta do, please leave them people alone and let them take that food back to their kids. Let them take that meal back to their kids. Let them feed their kids. Let them feed their husbands and their fathers and their mothers, and all that shit don't have nothing to do with you. Because when all this shit is over, you either will be here or you won't. I'ma just say that. Either you gonna make it out or you won't. Because people are not gonna let you come in between their kids' next meal. Who the fuck are you?
Oh my.
I'm trying to figure it out.
Yep. So she's saying look the other way or else you may not exist anymore. Here is the 2025 EBT riot map just posted. You can see where the riots will be concentrated across the country. You can see obviously the blue, and the rest of the country is black, but it might as well be red. Here is the DGX store. The preparation has begun for the riots.
To cover the stores. I'm here outside of the downtown Dollar General store located at 166 South High Street, where plywood boards have gone up to cover the store's doors and windows. Now, the store is open, contrary to its appearance, and the store manager said yesterday that the company actually sent someone to board up the entryways out of what they say is concern for potential looting and theft come November 1st, this Saturday, when SNAP benefits could end for nearly 180,000 people in just Franklin County and millions more across the country. An official with Dollar General, who would not clarify his name for the dispatch, did tell us yesterday that it was not the company itself who made the decision, but rather that they were advised by what he called a security group overseeing the city of Columbus to do this protective measure. The official would not elaborate on which security group he was referencing. The dispatch reached out to Columbus Police, who did not respond to our request for comment, but the Department of Public Safety and Safer Columbus both said they were uninvolved in the decision and had no further information on what happened.
They're already getting ready to board up the stores. That's Columbus, Ohio. Things just got worse for Chuck Schumer. A member of his own party just turned on him and demands he reopen government. Josh Gottheimer, Democrat from New Jersey.
Thune has offered. Well, I think we actually, it doesn't solve the health insurance problem, the premium problem. I think what's a very fair deal and is open the government and let's just vote on extending these premiums for a year or more. Well, I don't understand what's so hard about that. And by the way, Senator Thune has offered that, I believe. He said he'd offered up a vote that we can actually have a vote on extending these premiums. I think when put to it, you're going to see Democrat and Republicans, senators and congressmen and women want to vote for that. Why would you not want to vote to extend help with these tax credits, get premiums down for people? People are getting hurt right now in their pocketbooks. Yep. They're really need help. So why not give them some help?
All right,
So one Democrat breaking ranks saying reopen the government. Now, I had a conversation with Mark Dice about this through text message, and he thinks that the Democrats are going to bend, and they are going to not let the shutdown affect November 1st. I personally disagree. I think that they want the chaos, they want the riots, they want the Walmarts to be raided, because they can turn around and they can say, look what Donald Trump did. Just like during the Summer of Love, right? They let the cities burn, and then they blamed Trump. So I think we're going to see a repeat of that potentially. If all of these threats we're seeing on social media come to fruition, and there's quite a few of them. We've been documenting them for days and days and days here. And now stores are already preparing. You may have seen our fake movie trailer the other day. Shaniqua's loot. Well, there's another excuse me, movie trailer someone made similar to this.
This fall,
Card declined.
the system we rely on just went silent.
Y'all, something's wrong with the car. It ain't working nowhere.
EBT funds are gone.
They cut us off.
When the help stops, people stop caring.
We ain't got nothing left. Ain't putting no money on it. None. You hear me? It's empty.
One voice will spread the fear,
They cut it off. Tell everybody.
and a city will burn with hunger. EBT down.
EBT down, the movie, coming this weekend. You gotta love AI-generated movie trailers. I certainly do. Here's leader John Thune exposing Democrat leaders in their own words.
Who said every day at what's been said by some of the Democrat leadership here just in the last few days since the government actually shut down. That, of course, is the Democrat leader, Senator Schumer, who said every day gets better for us, commenting about the government shutdown. And my simple observation is, better for who? For you? Because you think you're winning politically? What about the air traffic controllers? What about the TSA agents? What about the American troops? What about our Border Patrol agents? What about the people who work in this building? What about the 40 million Americans that are going to not get SNAP benefits starting on Saturday if the government doesn't open up? But every day gets better, according to Senator Schumer. And then, of course, this last week, there was the House Democrat whip who said, of course, there will be families that are going to suffer, but it is one of the few leverage times we have. Of course, there are families that are going to suffer. Yeah, true. But doesn't matter, because we got leverage. Then, of course, we have a third one here, one of our colleagues here in the Senate, the senator from Delaware, who said this in an interview: frankly, this is our only moment of leverage. And although a very unpleasant tool to use. Yeah, it's unpleasant. It's unpleasant unless you're a Democrat who thinks that this gives you a moment of leverage.
And that's exactly what it is, a moment of leverage that they are using. And they're using 42 million Americans. Here's a TikToker says she's going to be robbing and stealing from stores if SNAP benefits are paused, and threatens to hurt security if they try to stop her.
Walking out with cars. I'm going to tell y'all straight up like this. I just got that text that the link is definitely cut the fuck off for November. Y'all better stay the fuck out of my way in these stores. I'm walking out with carts and I'm not paying for shit. Trump, if you want motherfuckers start looting, it's gonna happen. Before my kids go broke in this bitch like Jock, I'm gonna be stealing like it ain't no tomorrow. I am going to go in that store.
Someone get a translator. I need a translator on this.
Or get everything I get regularly. I'm going to bag my shit up, swipe my link card. As soon as that bitch say, ain't no pending balance on there, I'm going to walk the fuck out. And I'm going to have one of my cousins with me that'll punch your ass so hard, you going to think a Jet 2 holiday hit your bitch ass if you think I ain't finna walk out that stuff. And please follow me to that motherfucking car if you feeling motherfucking froggy, bitch. You ain't going to make it back to your motherfucking position at that fucking Walmart store. I'm telling you. You want to take some link? Like, I don't be taking shit already. Watch this. It's okay. I'm going to tell y'all straight up like this.
Watch this. Cash me outside. How about that? It's going down, folks. Buckle up. This weekend's going to be lit. Here is the Maverick approach. Update. Is the SNAP benefits program one big scam for a bigger plan? I mean, why else would big corporations fund the No Kings protests and lay off thousands of people before the holidays? 2 words, digital ID? Okay, this is a new one. Let's listen.
Benefit program. So over 40 million people are about to lose their SNAP benefits on November 1st due to the government shutdown. But why does this feel like a setup? Now let me slow walk you through this whole situation, starting with Walmart, because people are saying on the 1st they're going to raid Walmart because they don't have food stamps. Now keep in mind, Walmart makes over $3 billion a year on the SNAP benefit program, which is 25% of the entire program annually, which is pretty interesting being that they are one of the sponsors for the No Kings protests, in which other globalists were actually funding the No Kings protests like Ford, the Rockefeller Foundation, George Soros, just to name a few. But Walmart makes over $600 billion, so $3 billion is a drop in the bucket. So who really benefits and what's really going on? I mean, not only it's about money, which it is, because Walmart lost over $20 billion over the last 5 days, which could be a great opportunity for insiders to buy a cheaper stock. But it's about power and control as well. Could it be that all these corporations, big tech, billionaires want to induce civil unrest to implement a digital ID? Because out of chaos comes order. I mean, you have Bill Gates and Larry Ellison all pushing for a digital ID, in which right now is a New World Order situation in the UK, in which their problems is based on immigration, which easily can be induced to implement a digital ID. And guess which group has 60% of their group on SNAP benefits? Immigrants. Immigrants do, and they know this, so it seems like we're being played from both sides. I mean, it would be kind of crazy companies like Amazon plan to lay off over 500,000 jobs over the next 5 years due to AI automation, crushing the middle class, causing civil unrest. Not to mention, UPS just cut 48,000 jobs today. So the question is all this orchestrated so we're worrying about SNAP benefits and immigration being separated, black, white, all while they're building a New World Order situation for us? Could be. All the while, we still don't have an Epstein list, which is probably a distraction on top of a distraction at this point. Make sure you guys hit up my YouTube for more info, but what do you guys think about all this? Let me know below. So
I'll let
over
you know
40
right
million.
I don't know. I think you're reaching there, personally. I mean, a lot of the stuff he said was totally true about what's happening in the UK with the digital ID, but I'm having a difficult time trying to draw a direct line to the SNAP benefits drying up here in the United States based on the shutdown and connecting it to a digital ID. So I appreciate the insight, but I don't know. I mean, maybe you guys have more reaction in the comments. We can talk about this. So here's another recipient who is about to have her SNAP benefits dry up.
Get my stamps for next. Because of the government shutdown, now I can't get my stamps for next month. How am I gonna feed my 7 kids? I have 7 different baby daddies, and none of them no good for me. It's the taxpayers' jobs to make sure this happens. So taxpayers, y'all out there, I need y'all to make this happen next month.
Wait.
Because of the government shutdown, now I can't get my stamps for next month. How am I gonna feed my 7 kids? I have 7 different baby daddies, and
7 kids with 7 different baby daddy. Okay.
None of them no good for me. It's the taxpayers' jobs to make sure this happens. So taxpayers, y'all out there, I need y'all to make this happen next month.
Because all you taxpayers out there, I need you to make this happen. Sounds like you made some pretty bad decisions with seven different men on top of that. I mean, on top of you, I guess. I don't know who would hit that, but anyway, Democrats can't stand Trump's success. Laura Ingraham, they're still stuck in fight Trump mode.
The trend seems to be turning against Democrats in this shutdown game. Is there any buyer's remorse from a Tim Kaine or any of the somewhat more reasonable Democrats?
Well, we're going to find out. I think privately they understand
that by us having a clean CR here, basically we're not asking for any partisan riders, just reopen the government, allow us to do appropriations bills. The Democrats are opposing that. Even the liberal media has a hard time covering for them. So I think they know they're on the wrong side of this issue. But I'm telling you, Laura, they're just still stuck in this place where it's fight Trump. It's the only play they have in the playbook, and they can't stand that he's on the world stage and winning, and Democrats in Washington are whining. That's it. Like, that's what's going on. President Trump is going to deliver essentially $15 trillion worth of new investment, manufacturing jobs, respect on the world stage, using all the leverage we have to actually get good deals for the American people, which are tariffs. That policy is bringing in revenue, getting better deals. And so the Democrats can't stand the success. All they know is to whine about Trump, but it didn't work for him before, and I don't think it's going to work now either.
Well, that's what this whole shutdown is. It's slowing down President Trump. And chaos is on the horizon. And, of course, this is what they want. They want the chaos. Here is a white liberal woman. Oh, she's not happy about Orange Man.
House. I just learned that I don't get to eat this month. I don't get my food stamps this month because a motherfucker in the White House, an orange motherfucker in the White House, wants a ballroom for $3 billion. I don't get to eat. What? My government is supposed to help me, not hurt me. Why is it hurting me? I just learned that I don't get to eat this month.
No, maybe you should call Chuck Schumer, and maybe you should get educated on the ballroom being privately funded, lady, and get a haircut. Okay. Man, it just goes on and on. Here is Mike Lawler slamming Madeline Dean and exposing Democrats' lie about the shutdown.
Now, this is a shutdown based on the Republicans going home. Mike, I would ask you to implore the Speaker to bring us back. 5 weeks in a row now, the Speaker has said all his Republican colleagues stay home. Why aren't we here? Why aren't we in D.C. negotiating that very thing? You know that that's what we should be doing.
Madeline, you know I love you, but you had an opportunity a month ago to vote to keep the government open and funded, and you voted no. The bill passed the House well over a month ago. It's been sitting in the Senate. It's been sitting in the Senate. Your two U.S. senators from Pennsylvania, by the way, John Fetterman and Dave McCormick, agree. They have both voted yes 12 times to keep the government open and funded.
This is a shutdown based on the Republicans going home.
Yeah, the narrative continues to collapse. Here's Senator Ted Cruz on it.
Those are direct. Their solution is what they call the Obamacare subsidies. You know what those are? Those are direct payments to a handful of giant health insurance companies. It's corporate welfare on steroids. And mind you, since Obamacare passed, the profits of the largest health insurance companies have more than doubled. That's what's happened. And so the Democrats are saying, hey, to the working people, your health insurance is going to keep going up and up and up and up. But we, the Democrats, we really want to give billions of dollars to health insurance companies who've doubled their profits because we're forcing people to buy a product even if they don't want to buy it.
Ted Cruz nailing it. If you remember that whistleblower video we played a couple days ago, who did the investigation, looked inside and found that all of these health insurance companies and hospital organizations, they're making billions of dollars on Obamacare. And they want that money to keep flowing. They want to keep that tap of cash going right into their banks. So it's really about those companies holding America hostage. Ted Cruz basically confirming what the whistleblower said earlier this week. Let's see. We have another one.
You know how many people I've seen sell food stamps to get their hair done, nails done, their toes done, buy an outfit to go to the club, drugs? A lot. If I've seen it, other people seen it. You know what? That's why people don't give two fucks. I've seen women get a new man. The man got the food stamp. Now, the food stamp is for her and her kids. The man has the food stamp card and he in the grocery store buying shit that he want. People see that shit. You know what? They don't give two fucks. You know, some kids go to school and get breakfast and lunch, no dinner, because mama and I sold the food stamps for shit that she wanted. People don't give two fucks. And people are saying, well, what about my kids? Well, yeah, what about your kids when you had the food stamps, you out there selling them? What did you think about your children then? The fucked up shit that people do, people see that. So now people are like, I don't care. Life is about to start life for a lot of people. But don't get mad when people don't give two fucks. Because we see so many people out there abusing that shit that they be like, I don't give a shit. You know, what about my kids? What about your kids when you was out there doing that fucked up shit with them food stamps? What about your kids then?
Yeah,
you know
how many F-bombs is she going to drop? My goodness. Here's a woman who has matched a master plan to start robbing people as they walk out of grocery stores.
Something gotta shake. So y'all, I'm just thinking, I gotta come up with a master plan. They didn't cut my food stamps. I'm down to my last pack of noodles and 2 bars of soap. Something gotta shake. I'm just trying to see when we going to get the groceries. I'm thinking tomorrow a good day. We can start tomorrow. I got a route for this. We gonna start that bitch off in New Temple. We gonna run that bitch through Wesley Chapel, swing that bitch down Bruce B. down. We gonna gas up in the city. We ain't gonna fuck with the city, because if we fuck with the city, them hoes gonna be ready to die about that shit.
Do you understand anything she's saying? I don't.
So we gonna leave them alone. Bring that bitch up round Brandon. Take that bitch through Riverview. Swing that bitch through Apollo. Depending on what time it is, we could take that bitch clean down Del Mabry. Wrap that bitch round Town and Country. We done. Whole thing is, I need a ride. I can't take my car. But I think that's a clean route. Y'all let me know if y'all fucking with it. So y'all, I'm just
yeah, I think I'm going to download the transcript of that and then run it through ChatGPT with the translator. I don't know, man. Apparently she's got a master plan. I'm not sure who understands the master plan. Ruben Gallego just got wrecked on CNN for his hypocritical stance on the shutdowns, reverting to a "but Trump" response. Of course they are.
I think my question is this. I mean, I take your point about these millions of people. The cost of living is incredibly high. But also, Republicans control the White House. They control the Senate. They control the House. And in the past, Democrats, when Republicans have tried to do something like this, Democrats have argued that the norms of our government should be that you negotiate policy outside of a government shutdown. I mean, I have, over many years covering Washington, people have said that over and over and over again. And now I have neighbors in the D.C. area who are both employed by the federal government who are having to use food banks. We are heading into Thanksgiving. Why is it suddenly right to do it this way and to do it for this long when it didn't used to be the right way in Democrats' view?
Oh, that's an easy answer. It's Donald Trump. You're talking about norms in the time of Donald Trump. It's also normal not for you to tear down the East Wing.
Democrats have spent so much time arguing about how maintaining those norms is actually incredibly important in the face of Donald Trump. It's all out the window.
It's all out the window, Casey. No, when you're dealing the time with Donald Trump, this is the man that is like extorting people. He's literally, breaking every rules. We're not going to go back and play by the norms when we know that what's on the line is 24 million people are going to have their insurance rates premiums doubled. That's a new thing, by the way. And the fact is the president and everyone expects us to play by these old norms.
Didn't Democrats kind of set that up in the bill that you passed, though, that these subsidies were going to expire?
When we passed the bills and back in the day as part of the Inflation Reduction Act, of course, we were trying to, maybe hope for the best that this country and our Republican colleagues would understand that raising insurance rates on people is a bad thing. I'm sorry they don't see it that way, but it's also not my job to make their job easier. My job.
But Trump. But Trump. A tale of two states. Virginia, Governor Youngkin, Republican, using state funds to cover SNAP benefits during the shutdown. Maryland, Governor Moore blames Trump instead of helping his own people. Democrats aren't your friend. They're using your pain as leverage.
SNAP benefits. Never seen a more potent display of the difference between Republicans and Democrats than what you're about to see.
To not pay the military, to not pay TSA, to not pay air traffic controllers, and to interrupt SNAP benefits for Virginians most in need.
Glenn Youngkin, Republican governor of Virginia.
For benefits like
Watch
SNAP
this.
to run
Pay
out.
attention
so
to
he
this.
says the state will pick up the bill for meal assistance.
The state of Virginia is going to step in and cover the benefits for a while We have the financial resources to do it for a while, not forever.
Meanwhile,
wow, they have the financial resources to do it. You know why? Because they have all of our revenue. We have sent all of our revenue to Virginia. Their coffers are full with our revenue. Now, compare what Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin is doing. He's going to make sure that those people have SNAP, and I'm going to give you a little bit of background on that. Compare that to Governor Moore. This is Governor Moore, Democrat governor of Maryland, how he's approaching this.
Moore put out a statement. He says the Trump administration hasn't guaranteed states will be reimbursed for covering federal expenses like food benefits, which has been the case during previous shutdowns. The governor says, quote, "We will continue to do everything in our power to ensure the federal government follows the law and provides funding for the critical services that our families, our children, and our veterans rely on."
Now, this is interesting, and I've been telling you this for the longest time. Democrats are not your friends. For those people, oh, the Democrats are helping us. I have been telling you, if you listen to my program, I've been telling you over and over and over again, when you people are like, oh, well, we're going to provide expanded SNAP benefits and we're going to pay your rent and everything, they do that for moments like this. This is why they push those things, because this is leverage. Like the Democrats have explicitly said, this is leverage. And in a case where you have a Republican governor in Virginia, his priority is like, look, these people need these benefits. Let's get them fed. Governor Moore is thinking, how do we blame this on Trump? How do we leverage this? And I think there's another layer to this, by the way. I didn't even get to this. I personally feel like the Democrats are really twisting the knife, and they're mad at black people for not showing up for Kamala Harris. I promise you that's part of this. And so they feel like, oh, well, you guys get this. And you can already see on the people are talking about this. Well, you guys.
This ain't over yet, folks. Are you ready for this weekend? Are you ready? Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson.
Has 2.5 to 1 margin. The Capitol Hill press corps has tweeted more about the House calendar during the shutdown than the negative consequences of the Democrat shutdown, than the troubles that we have, the hardships that are being experienced because of the troop pay and WIC funding and flights grounded and SNAP funding. You guys are writing more about the House calendar than the real pain that's being inflicted on the American people, and that's why we have to come in and relay the simple facts. Now, there's a...
It's going down, folks. It's going down. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. You see, this is economic warfare against American families. When you cut off food assistance for 42 million people overnight, you're not balancing a budget, you're lighting a fuse. The Democrats know exactly what they're doing. Create the crisis, watch the looting spread, then swoop in with the solution. Blame Trump. It's happening right now. Organized theft rings on Telegram, flash mobs, coordinating store hits, suburban grocery, hiring armed guards. They're boarding them up already. You see, the Democrats want the chaos. They need it because scared people surrender freedom for security every time. The riots that are going to be starting in Baltimore and Detroit and Chicago, get ready. That's only the appetizer. Wait until week 5 when the last can of soup runs out and the mob turns from stores to homes. So here's my question. Do you think that the SNAP shutdown is incompetence or intentional? Drop your answer below and make sure you grab some Next News gear while our merch shop still ships. Link in the description. All right, that was a long segment. Glad you stuck around. We ain't done yet. Tom before 20 breaking the seal with a $5 super chat out the gate. Johnny Rodriguez coming in hot with a 20 spot. About 30 minutes ago, Gary, be safe, he says. Stephen Richard dropping $2. Banana Head's going to get shot trying that crap, he says. And then Stephen Richard comes back and says, times like this, you have to use a very hard R. Inbred Outlook with a 20. Evening peeps, I'm all over this. How about get a job and buy food like I do? Dan Thompson coming in with a 5 spot. We love Tom McDonald. He is the bomb. Yes, Tom McDonald is the bomb. In fact, I actually made an AI video of myself dressed like Tom McDonald and rapping like Tom McDonald. And I posted it on my Facebook. You can go and you can see it. It's quite funny, actually. All right. So we're now at $54. We're halfway to the goal this evening. And we got a lot of more breaking news to get to. Lots of news here in this next segment. They've arrested quite a few people. The DOJ, Pam Bondi's DOJ, FBI, massive FAFO in full effect. We have all the details. Chicago just became ground zero in America's immigration war. Border Commander Greg Bovino is continuing Operation Midway Blitz, and the political establishment's losing their minds. 3,000 arrests and counting. A federal judge ordered him to appear in court today on the daily. But something just happened to that court order. Meanwhile, violent mobs are attacking ICE agents. Governor Pritzker creating secret documentation panels to target federal officers. Mayor Johnson calling enforcement racist while redirecting funds from black mothers to migrant hotels. And now a Democrat congressional candidate facing federal charges for assaulting Border Patrol. And she's responding today. Our exclusive interview with whistleblower Mark Vargas exposes the shocking truth about Illinois officials actively sabotaging federal law. This is not just a resistance, it is an insurrection, and Bovino is not backing down. And while Chicago tears itself apart and our border defenders face daily attacks, your body's fighting its own war against aging and stress. That's why I trust C60 Evo, the Nobel Prize-winning molecule that's revolutionizing health. Just like Bovino's cleaning up Chicago streets, C60 cleans up the free radicals destroying your cells. Lab animals live 90% longer on this stuff. My brain fog vanished, joint pain I've had for decades gone. My wife looks 10 years younger. This molecule is 172 times more powerful than vitamin C. The scientist behind it, Chris Burris, he's been perfecting this in his Houston lab since 91. The Paris study proved it extends life. Now my family is living proof. Visit c60evo.com/NNN for exclusive savings, because when the world's falling apart, you need every advantage. c60evo.com/NNN. Transform your health today. Make sure you use code NNN at checkout for exclusive discounts for our viewers. Now, before we get into Mark Vargas's exclusive remarks that he sat down with me earlier today, this is a huge development. Massive FAFO, the feds charging Illinois Democrat congressional candidate Kat Abughazaleh, as she was federally indicted today for attacking and blocking a federal vehicle outside Broadview ICE. At one riot, she was pummeled to the ground by an ICE agent. There she goes. This is the indictment, count 3. The special June 2024 grand jury further charges. The allegations in paragraph 1, count 1 of the indictment are incorporated here on or about September 26, 2025 at Broadview, in the Northern District of Illinois, Eastern District. Catherine Marie Abughazaleh, not going to try to say that name, defendant herein forcibly impeded, intimidated, interfered with an officer of the United States, namely Agent A, while engaged in or on account of the performance of his official duties. And she is about to find out. Here she is. She's a candidate. Yeah, would you vote for that? Yeah, real stupid. Well, now she's responding to the charges. Here she is.
And my name is Kat Abughazaleh. I'm running for Congress in the 9th District of Illinois, and the Department of Justice is charging 6 people, including myself, with federal crimes for exercising our First Amendment rights near ICE's Broadview Processing Center. This is a political prosecution and a gross attempt to silence dissent, a right protected under the First Amendment. This case is a major push by the Trump administration to criminalize protest and punish anyone who speaks out against them. That's why I'm going to fight these unjust charges. But
there's a difference between free speech and impeding official duties, honey. There's a big difference.
I need your help to do it. As I and others have exercised our First Amendment...
Let me guess, this is a fundraising pitch now?
...rights, ICE has hit, dragged, thrown, shot with pepper balls, and tear gassed hundreds of protesters. Simply because we had the gall to say that masked men...
No. You had the gall to impede a federal officer in the line of duty.
...coming into our communities, abducting our neighbors, and terrorizing us cannot be our new normal. And because Chicago doesn't back down from bullies in masks who tear gas our neighborhoods, this administration has resorted to weaponizing the federal justice system to scare us into silence. But we're not going to be silent. The Trump administration wants you to be afraid of speaking out against it, and it's anti-democratic.
You should be very afraid about what's going to happen to you when you go to prison. Now, we're going to talk about what just happened in the 7th Circuit. They've just struck down the insane leftist judge who required Border Commander Greg Bovino to appear daily in court after he rightfully repelled rioters with crowd control. Judge Sarah Ellis's order has now been overturned. Yeah, there's a big win because he's doing his job. And what is Bovino saying? He says, we are going harder now. Here is a segment from my interview with Mark Vargas earlier today. Mark Vargas is back with breaking coverage of this converging disaster. Mark, America is coming apart, and we have the border chief, Greg Bovino, appearing in federal court, facing harassment charges for removing violent criminals. Here's what he said to Fox News.
Immoral. So you're leading Operation Midway Blitz. Is this judge allowing you to continue to do your job up until 4 or 6 p.m. when you have to go sit with her? And what does that do to operations for you and your agents that you're leading?
First and foremost, those operations continue. They continue unabated. The temporary restraining order and the meetings with the judge and all the other accoutrements that comes with what her orders are that will have no effect on Operation Midway Blitz. The Border Patrol, ICE, and those allied law enforcement teams are legal, ethical, and moral, and we always have been. So we've never been in violation of any TRO, any law or regulation. We're going to go out there and we're going to accomplish the mission. We're closing in on 3,000 apprehensions as we speak. We're going to speed those apprehensions up, and now we're even going to go harder now, Harris. We go harder now, and I'm not worried about it at all.
He's not worried about it, but Brandon Johnson calling him a barbarian. Mark, who's the real criminal here?
Both Mayor Johnson and Governor Pritzker and the federal court system, this judge. I mean, who would have thought that in the United States of America that you'd have elected officials and a federal judge siding with illegals, lawbreakers? I mean, they're supposed to uphold the law, not support those that break the law. And we've seen a continued pattern. I mean, there's been no consequences for Governor Pritzker and Mayor Johnson to call on violence against federal ICE agents. Again, we've talked about this before, Gary. If you or I were to publicly call for violence against federal ICE agents or federal Secret Service agents or federal U.S. Marshals, we'd be locked up and thrown in jail in 0.03 seconds. But somehow Democratic politicians and can talk about this and nothing happens to them. It's the reason why we've seen an over 1,000% increase in assaults on federal ICE agents, because the rhetoric of these Democratic leaders is inciting violence.
Mark Vargas inciting violence, and we just saw one who was just indicted for violence. And now we're finding out that Governor Pritzker has a purge list, a documentation panel to target ICE agents. Mark Vargas weighing in, post at the... Now let's take a look at Pritzker here. He just announced a commission to document ICE agents for future prosecutions. This is from your post at the Illinois Review. If you're not following them yet, guys, make sure you do. So here is his announcement.
Why collect videos,
testimony, firsthand accounts of alleged abuses of federal agents?
Well, what we're seeing is that the protocols, the rules around being a federal agent, the laws are being contravened. They are attacking people on the ground, ICE, CBP. They're going after people just because they're brown or black. No one above them is holding them responsible. Greg Bovino, who is running the operation in Chicago, is not holding any of them accountable. So we're going to have to keep a record because these people need to be held accountable, and they will be when the Congress changes hands, when the presidency changes hands.
Why?
So, Mark, this is literally a purge list. What are they planning? Revenge?
More than a purge list, this is a hit list, and this endangers the lives of every federal agent who's there in Chicago to uphold the laws of the land. And what Pritzker is talking about is pretty simple. It's the weaponization of government using federal agencies and federal resources to target not just citizens, but to target federal agents for doing their job. This is exactly what they're accusing Donald Trump of doing, when in fact it's not President Trump who's just enforcing existing laws. It's the Democrats that are using the weaponization of government. This is a play right out of the Obama-Biden playbook. It's remarkable. It endangers the lives of everyday people and it endangers the lives of these ICE officers. But Gary, what's interesting is, what about going after the people that are assaulting ICE agents? What about going after the people that are throwing rocks and bricks and swinging baseball bats and willfully trying to harm federal agents? Where are the law enforcement in going after those people? They're okay. It's the federal agents who they're targeting.
Now, let's take a look at Pritzker here. He just announced, so they want to target ICE agents. But now we're finding out this just in. Attorney General Pam Bondi let this serve as a reminder that if you commit violence against a law enforcement officer, you will face severe consequences. Quote tweeting the acting attorney, U.S. attorney, promises made, promises kept. President A.G. Bondi made clear we will find, arrest, and charge anyone who attacks our law enforcement.
Project Laguna Road, and then shortly after that is when we started seeing pepper balls being fired back towards the crowd. But the crowd was also picking up items, rocks, whatever I guess they can find on the ground, and starting to throw them back towards
these vans from leaving this farm there.
Now, you remember that farm raid? They're reporting here that they arrested 10 defendants for engaging in violence at that location, engaging in violence against officers and property earlier this year. And the U.S. attorney in California announcing a whopping 97 people being charged with either assault or impeding federal agents in Los Angeles. We will continue to charge more as we obtain evidence.
And we will continue in response to recent immigration enforcement actions in Los Angeles. To date, we have charged 97 individuals either with assault or impeding of federal agents engaged in immigration enforcement operations, and we will continue to charge more as we obtain the evidence. Earlier this summer, federal agents engaged in law enforcement operations targeted at removing illegal immigrants who entered the United States unlawfully. In response, large protests began to form throughout the Los Angeles area. I want to be very clear. Every American has a right to peacefully protest. What is not constitutionally protected is a right to engage in violence or to impede federal agents by assaulting, doxing, or obstructing their operations.
FAFO. Just like what happened with Illinois congressional candidate Kat Abughazaleh. Whatever. Now, I think we have another one here. This is Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson calling illegal alien a racist term. Mark Vargas responding. Now let's talk about something equally as insane. The Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson made an absolutely insane comparison. Listen to what he said, comparing the legal term illegal alien to slavery.
Was to describe, we don't have illegal aliens.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's from some sort of sci-fi message that you wish have had. Well, listen, the legal term for my people were slaves. You want me to use that term too? So look, let's just get the language right. We're talking about undocumented individuals that are human beings. The last thing that I'm going to do is accept the type of racist, nasty language to describe human beings. We don't.
So he's allowing 400 murders while calling law enforcement terms racist. Mark, has Chicago leadership completely lost touch with reality?
They've lost touch with reality, and it's another reason why Brandon Johnson's poll ratings were at just 6%. He's proving it. What's racist is pulling funding for black mothers in the south and west sides of Chicago and reallocating it towards free health care for illegal immigrants. That's why we see a high concentration of infant deaths in the south and west side. It's why Chicago has some of the highest infant mortality rates in the nation. These aren't white mothers. These aren't Hispanic mothers. These are black mothers, the very constituents that Brandon Johnson supposedly represents and protects. He's just abandoned them for illegal aliens and has reallocated billions of dollars in resources for free healthcare. They've lost touch with reality, and it's why, Gary, I think we're going to see Chicago flip red. Everyday residents are sick and tired of their Democratic politicians coddling lawbreakers, coddling illegal aliens, coddling illegal criminals, while at the same time, everyday residents are trapped in poverty and poor healthcare systems.
Now let's talk about something equally. The media glorifying lawless priorities sometimes splashes Bovino in court like a criminal while real felons walk free. Vargas responding to today's Chicago Sun-Times front page. Let's take a look at the Chicago Sun-Times. Their front page shows Bovino in court like a criminal while actual criminals run free. What message does this send to the people of Chicago and to law enforcement?
Well, that the city doesn't have your back if you're a law-abiding citizen, and that they've made a deliberate choice to protect lawbreakers. They've made a deliberate choice to embrace lawlessness, and it should scare every resident and visitor in Chicago, but not just in Illinois, but across the country, that elected officials whose number one priority is to protect the people, that they would side on lawlessness, and that our federal court system would side with lawlessness. We've reached a very dangerous time in America.
Let's take a look at the Chicago. Indeed. But it's also dangerous if you're going to be playing offense against ICE agents doing their job. Are they still doing the pretend Nazi thing? When he gets his SS tat, let me know. When Greg Bovino left court, he waved to the crowd, and they all freaked out. And oh my goodness, he's giving a Nazi salute.
Hitler.
Okay, so you tell me. Nazi salute? Oh, sure, if you pause it, yeah. But he's giving signals to his team on what to do.
Now, Greg, what in the Hail Hitler were those hand moves?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, of course, they will find a Hitler salute in anything that they want. Who'll ever forget what happened with Elon Musk, right? Bovino crushing it in the face of leftist judge. Border Commander Greg Bovino announces he's only going to surge illegal aliens arrests in Chicago. They're allowing violent insurrectionists to swarm the courthouse, posing a direct threat to Bovino and his men. You just saw what happened outside that courthouse. Obama-appointed judge had the nerve to make Border Chief Greg Bovino appear in her courtroom today to explain his use of tear gas on a paid mob. The man has taken more weapons off the street in Chicago in a month than he did in 4 months in Los Angeles.
Here in Chicago, That individual, as you said, was armed with a semi-automatic weapon. So that was 2 from a couple of days ago. Today, more of the same. Another semi-automatic weapon in the car of an individual that tried to box in a Border Patrol agent. Sean, we've seen more weapons here in Chicago in a month than we did in Los Angeles over a 4-month period. Definitely something going on here in Chicago.
That's insane when we think about it. More guns taken off the street in Chicago than in Los Angeles. Here we have the border czar 24 hours ago speaking with Laura Ingraham.
This judge issued a warning, and by the way, welcome, Tom. Good to see you. Issued a warning that if agents are using this dispersant, they better be able to back it up. And if they can't, they'll lose that. What exactly could have happened if Bovino and those agents hadn't dispersed that crowd as they did? You heard the threats. What could have happened, Tom?
Border Patrol agents could be hurt and they could be killed. Look, you know, first of all, it's a radical decision made by a radical judge. DOJ will appeal it, and we'll get beyond this. However, here's what should happen. The judge, Governor Pritzker, Mayor Johnson, put a Border Patrol uniform on for one shift. Come out there and stand there with the men and women of the Border Patrol and ICE and see, well, how are you going to respond? Look, the Border Patrol agents are trained very well on use of force continuum. They don't go from 0 to 100. There's no use of force against peaceful protesters. But when they impede them, when they threaten them, when they assault them, when they trespass, use of force is used at the lowest level to make someone comply, to the highest level is needed if it's a death, an action of a death threat or serious bodily injury. So these agents are very well trained. Even back in 1984, when I went to the Border Patrol Academy, you're well trained in crowd control and riot control. These are the best trained men and women that come into riot control, crowd control. They're doing exactly as they were trained to do. So I would question the judge. You want what's happening? Put on that uniform, stand on that front line, and have stones thrown at you, and see if there's justification for these men and women to protect themselves.
First, they have to find a uniform that would fit J.B. Pritzker. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. You see, this is what happens when cities declare war on federal law. Pritzker's documentation panel isn't oversight. It's a hit list targeting ICE agents who dare enforce immigration law. Johnson stealing money from struggling black families to fund illegal alien health care while calling enforcement racist. That's not social justice. It's called betrayal. The Sun-Times plastering Bovino's photo like he's a criminal while actual felons roam free. Pure propaganda. But here's what they don't understand. Every time they attack our Border Patrol, every time they obstruct ICE, every time they choose illegals over citizens, they create 10 more Greg Bovinos. Patriots who've had enough. Law enforcement who won't bow to the mob rule. Americans who remember what sovereignty means. So here's my question for the comment section. Should federal agents arrest mayors who obstruct immigration enforcement? Yes or no? Drop your comment below and support real journalism. Check out our merch shop. It's linked in the description. All right, $54 in Super Chats. No Super Chats to speak of. We're halfway to our goal tonight. Make sure you get your voice heard, because it supports our show and we support your voice. So let's talk about that, shall we? Okay, new developments on the horizon here. Reaction. Uh-oh. What's going on with the auto pen? Yes, arrest mayors in L.A., New York, Chicago, and Portland. Big Tish belongs in jail now. Arrest them all. All right, let's get at it. The auto pen scandal that's haunted the Biden administration just reached critical mass. Yesterday, House Oversight bombshell confirms what whistleblowers warned about. Joe Biden never actually governed. Today, the revelations keep on coming. Representative James Comer's updated report proves it. No one ever got direction from Joe Biden. No notes, no meetings, and no orders. Unelected staffers signed pardons, executive orders, even international agreements while Biden was missing in action. Speaker Mike Johnson demanding the DOJ void every unauthorized signature. Democrats are imploding. Obama screaming at Pelosi behind closed doors. The Views hosts are having on-air meltdowns defending the indefensible. Months of investigation have built to this moment. The fake presidency is finally being exposed. While Biden handlers were faking his signature on executive orders, real breakthroughs in healing were happening. Jonathan Otto introduced me to red light therapy, technology that delivers actual results, not forged promises. After my wife's diagnosis left her battling chronic pain and crippling anxiety, this changed everything. Pain eliminated, anxiety gone, energy restored. We're talking about FDA-cleared technology that major medical studies show achieves 300% faster healing, instant pain relief, even documented brain regeneration. NASA researched it. Hospitals use it. Now it is in my home. The panels use 9 specific wavelengths with hospital-grade components and 0 EMF exposure. While Biden's presidency was being faked, this technology was delivering real transformation. Visit myredlight.com and use code NNN for exclusive savings. Check out their payment programs. They're amazing. You can get the healing that is revolutionizing lives. myredlight.com. Use code NNN. You'll find it linked down in the description. So the AutoPen scandal continues. Jesse Waters, 24 hours ago. Barack Obama dropping an F-bomb on Nancy Pelosi. What? What the F did you just do, Nancy? Nancy ran into the White House for a secret meeting with Biden. Uh-oh.
That she said to John.
Did you hear about the secret meeting? Pelosi snuck into the White House just to see the AutoPen.
She goes to have a secret meeting with Joe Biden in the White House. As the meeting concludes, and Pelosi's not telling him directly to get out,
right,
but reiterating the message that she said to Jonathan, that these two devout Catholics take out their rosaries and they say a prayer together. And Pelosi leaves. It is the last time that they had any meaningful exchange of words.
This is a new scoop about the coup. Nancy was literally praying that Biden would bow out. But not everybody was on board, including the hubby, Paulie P.
Pelosi talks to her husband, Paul Pelosi, and Paul answers the phone by saying, Kamala? No. You did what? What? Kamala?
Paulie P. knew Kamala was a bad investment. Barack, too. He called Nancy and was dropping F-bombs when Nance endorsed Harris behind his back.
You report that Barack Obama called her basically asking, what the F did you just do?
Obama says is basically, what Nancy, what was that all about? And clearly irritated. No, she was pissed off. She was angry. He was angry. The clear message was, why did you do that?
Inside Biden world, everyone knew the truth. There's only one Messiah. Quote, at least one Biden official believed that Obama didn't believe the then VP could win. There's only one Black Jesus. While the old guard sharpened their knives, the cover-up got unraveled before our eyes. Combers now got receipts, 100 pages deep. It's titled, The Biden AutoPen Presidency. The report's on Bondi's desk. They're asking the AG to void anything the AutoPen signed off on. That means executive orders, pardons, anything. Sorry, Fauci.
The actions of President Biden simply were not all his own actions. And there are major implications to that, including all the pardons that he signed.
And it wasn't just pride that powered the pen. There were incentives. Take, for instance, Biden's senior advisor, Mike Donilon. Mike had it made. He was loyal to the core. Even after Biden bombed the debate, Mike swore Sleepy crushed it. Only concern was his scratchy voice. What Mike didn't mention then was the bonus he was due if the big guy stayed in.
Were there any circumstances in which you would have received a bonus?
Yes, there was.
What were those circumstances?
That Joe Biden would have been reelected president of the United States.
What was the bonus of Ben?
I believe it would have been $4 million.
$4 million. So Biden insiders lied for money. Didn't realize defending democracy came with a signing bonus. Did you hear about the secret?
Wow. Absolutely remarkable. Obama not pleased with the intervention. Now, let's take a look here. There's a lot of reaction. Gunther Eagleman. I don't think I've watched a Democrat get triggered like this in decades. She couldn't even handle the softball interview from Jake Tapper.
Alleged in its report that there was a cover-up of the House Oversight Committee. Democrats are calling the Republicans' investigation into President Biden's autopen usage a sham after the Republican-led committee alleged in its report that there was a cover-up of Biden's cognitive decline and sent a letter to the Justice Department saying that legal consequences are warranted. Ranking Democrat on the committee, Robert Garcia, says aides testified that Biden fully executed his duties and authorized every executive order, pardon, and use of the autopen. Let's bring in Democratic Congresswoman Melanie Stansbury, who sits on the committee. Congresswoman, the conclusion of this 93-page report hinges on the lack of written approval traceable to the president's own consent when it comes to these pardons and highlights staffers' confusion about the paper flow. Democrats drew their own conclusions. What evidence are you pointing to that refutes this report?
Well, Jake, thank you so much for having me on. I have to say that I am deeply disturbed that this is a lead story on national network television tonight, as we are 4 days away from 40.
She's pissed off that CNN's covering it. How dare you?
How dare you? 2 million Americans losing food assistance, as literally the White House is building a $300 million ballroom, and they are choosing to cut off food assistance and SNAP to 42 million Americans. They are going to let seniors, children, veterans, and millions of Americans starve. And this is what we're covering. So let me just say this. The bizarre obsession that House Republicans have with Biden is exactly that. He's not even president right now. Donald Trump is president. He is literally overseas. He is not.
Yeah, what did they do to Donald Trump when he wasn't president? They raided his home. They forced him into courtrooms across the country. Georgia, New York, mugshots, perp walks. And you're complaining that they're investigating the abuse of his executive authority? Typical.
Trying to reopen the government. He is not trying to feed the American people. He is not trying to deal with the healthcare crisis. And he literally was being led around a ballroom by the Japanese prime minister last night.
Please spare me. Oh, yeah, but over on The View, Whoopi Goldberg very upset that Republicans are investigating Biden's autopen use. She, instead of investigating a man who's no longer in office, those are her words. Again, I bring up, what did they do to Donald Trump when he wasn't in office, right?
And out. Soybean. I mean, it's kind of crazy. You know, I kind of agree with him. If you, instead of investigating a man who's no longer in office, I would like y'all to find out why the U.S. military is striking vessels without verifying who's in them.
Yeah.
I want the government shutdown to figure.
Oh, Whoopi. They know who's in those vessels. They've declared it clearly. You're gaslighting.
Out what's going on, because it's getting ready to be the longest one in history. Mm-hmm. SNAP benefits are about to run out. Soybean farmers in financial crisis, and of course there is the unreleased Epstein files.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. Meltdowns continuing on The View. Here we have James Comer speaking with Laura Ingraham about the Biden presidency on autopilot.
Any evidence? I mean, to the regular person watching this out there in TV land, this stinks to high heaven. So we need your gut check. You've seen all the documents. Is there any evidence indicating that Biden himself was involved in approving these pardons? Real hard evidence?
There really isn't, and it's astonishing when you're talking about thousands of pardons and dozens of executive orders. Basically any legal document, especially during the last 3 months of the Biden administration, that's what we focused on. And every person who we deposed had a different story on what the proper process was that they followed in using the auto pen to sign a legal document. Their stories were inconsistent, and then when you throw in the emails from the Merrick Garland Department of Justice expressing concern to these very staffers about the excessive use of the auto pen and asking point-blank questions, what was their process, then the entire story's changed. So the inconsistencies are abound. But one thing that is consistent, Laura, is the fact that no one saw Joe Biden, no one who authorized the auto pen or even gave the authorization to use the auto pen, no one who authorized the auto pen or actually physically manually pressed the power button on the auto pen ever heard directly from Joe Biden. And furthermore, there are no notes. There's no chain of custody that would show that Joe Biden was involved in any meetings where they discussed the pardon process. I mean, this is appalling, and everyone in America saw during the debate and during the last few months of the Biden administration, this was a president in decline. The staffers confirmed that they would go weeks, months, and even years without communicating with Joe Biden. This is a massive cover-up, and what we determined was every pardon should be declared null and void.
I mean, to the regular
every pardon declared null and void. Here's Representative Pat Fallon back in August.
Ceremonial things. Oh, it is. And retroactively, I don't know if we can do anything retroactively, but moving forward, we can never have an auto pen be used to sign executive orders or pass legislation. You know, we have to. Those are for ceremonial things, like if a young Boy Scout or Girl Scout writes the president. You know, those kinds of things. That's what it's supposed to be used for. But the Biden administration was using it to pass legislation and to affect serious matters like these pardons. So in the future, no president, Republican or Democrat, should do that. Oh, it is. And
the fallout is going to be absolutely insane once the DOJ gets involved. Special report posting nothing this incredible and insane has happened before. This was not something the forefathers anticipated. Speaker Johnson reacting to the released House Oversight report calling on the DOJ to cancel all former Biden unauthorized pardons and executive orders.
Tonight, Republicans on Capitol Hill are wading into uncharted legal waters as a newly released House Oversight report calls on the DOJ to cancel what it calls all of former President Biden's unauthorized pardons and executive orders issued via the auto pen.
Nothing this incredible and insane has happened before. This was not something that the forefathers anticipated.
Attorney General Pam Bondi announcing on X, my team has already initiated a review. Republicans have no smoking gun or criminal referrals for the DOJ, but their months-long investigation finds former President Biden was not running the White House and that a number of high-level aides didn't even know who was operating the auto pen.
Do you know any of the actual staff who were using the auto pen?
No.
You don't know their names?
No. Biden, who just wrapped up chemo for prostate cancer, responded today through a spokesperson who calls the report, quote, political retribution, and insists that President Biden made the decisions of his presidency.
The so-called chairman of the House Oversight Committee, James Comer, continues to behave like a malignant clown.
Some Senate Republicans wonder about the legality of undoing presidential pardons.
I mean, that's a question of constitutional law.
But they know that if it happens, it will have massive implications.
You may see prosecutors say, well, listen, I mean, if there's no longer a blanket of amnesty over these folks, then we're going to go after them.
And Brett, tonight, committee Republicans want AG.
Now, of course, the amnesty he's referring to are the pardons for Fauci, for Schiff, members of the J6 Unselect Committee, General Milley, all of them.
Prosecutors say, well, listen, I mean, if there's no longer a blanket of amnesty over these folks, then we're going to go after them.
And Brett, tonight, committee Republicans want AG Bondi and the Board of Medicine to start investigating the former White House physician, Dr. Kevin O'Connor, for negligence after he pled the fifth during his testimony here on Capitol Hill with the Oversight Committee, where he cited doctor-patient privileges.
Tonight,
this is really bad. This is a huge constitutional crisis. We have no idea. We have no idea what's coming next, folks. Here's Scott Jennings, token conservative at CNN, weighing in on the oversight GOP investigation into the auto pen.
Signed. Did you allow people to use the name Elliott Williams without your knowledge of the document or what was on the page?
I don't recall. So
I'm asking you, if you were a government official and you had an auto pen, which you did, would you let some staffer sign things in your name without reading?
Yeah, here's the question. Was my authority delegated to that person? And I think they do have the authority to do so. Laws and regulations, and I'm serious, Scott, laws and regulations.
The authority to delegate pardons and executive orders, the President of the United States can say, you unelected staffer can go sign my name on a document that I've never seen for a decision that I've never made?
Quite often, the United States Code delegates authority. So through the President of the United States, through the Attorney General, whatever else, X person can carry out a function. And certainly that could be the case. Now, Donald Trump, for instance, in his first term, pardoned like 1,600 people. And I have a hard time believing that he was aware of every single person that he was pardoning. One could make a challenge. Every president does this. Now, if it's a question about Biden's fitness for office, did he know what he was? Of course, raise that question. But I just, one, given how vast the pardon power is, and two, given how comprehensive the use of auto pens are across administrations, I have a hard time seeing a legal challenge.
Nobody can be delegated the pardon power.
Yes.
It is a constitutional power.
Yes.
And I don't really think you can delegate the executive order power either, because the executive has to make the order.
So, Scott, the President George W. Bush, and forgive me, I'm doing some research here in real time, but we are on justice.gov, Office of Legal Counsel. Date of issuance, July 7th, 2005. So this is the Bush administration. They ask whether the president may sign a bill by directing that his signature be affixed to it. And the Justice Department says yes, the president need not personally perform the physical act of affixing his signature to a bill he approves and decides to sign in order for the bill to become law. Rather, the president may sign a bill within the meaning of Article 1, Section 7 by directing a subordinate to affix the president's signature to such a bill, for example, by auto pen.
The issue is not the use of the auto pen. The issue is the last thing you said, directing someone, the president making a decision. What Comer and the guys over at Oversight have found is that there's no clear evidence that Joe Biden personally made the decisions that only a president can make.
Well, that's a fair question, but signing legislation is as much a presidential power as issuing pardons is, right? They're both in the Constitution. The president has the power to execute, to execute legislation, has the power to pardon. If, as is the case with George W. Bush, he can delegate the signing of legislation.
You guys are missing the point. The allegation is Joe Biden had no idea that his signature was being affixed to certain things, and if that's true, it is a valid question. If the president doesn't personally make a decision or make a direction,
I think it's perfectly a valid question. I'm just saying the notion of presidents delegating their authority,
president's not a figurehead,
even on constitutionally mandated powers, the president can delegate his authority.
So they're just going to say, "Oh, he delegated." Yeah, he just delegated the authority, but nobody knew who was using it. How can you delegate authority when nobody knows who's actually wielding the authority? These people are out of their minds. Cassie Hunt, by directing a subordinate to affix the president's signature to such a bill, for example, by auto pen, Scott Jennings says it's not how they use it. It's the last thing you said, directing someone.
In order for the bill. George W. Bush, and forgive me, I'm doing some research here in real time, but we are on justice.gov, Office of Legal Counsel. Date of issuance, July 7th, 2005. So this is the Bush administration. They ask whether the president may sign a bill by directing that his signature be affixed to it. And the Justice Department says yes, the president need not personally perform the physical act of affixing his signature to a bill he approves and decides to sign in order for the bill to become law. Rather, the president may sign a bill within the meaning of Article 1, Section 7 by directing a subordinate to affix the president's signature to such a bill, for example, by auto pen.
The issue is not the use of the auto pen. The issue is the last thing you said, directing someone, the president making a decision. What Comer and the guys over at Oversight have found is that there's no clear evidence that Joe Biden personally made the decisions that only a president can make.
Well, that's a fair question, but signing legislation is as much a presidential power as issuing pardons is, right? They're both in the Constitution. The president has the power to execute, to execute legislation, has the power to pardon. If, as is the case with George W. Bush, he can delegate the signing of legislation.
You guys are missing the point. The allegation is Joe Biden had no idea that his signature was being affixed to certain things. And if that's true, it is a valid question. If the president doesn't personally make a decision or make a direction.
I think it's perfectly a valid question. I'm just saying the notion of presidents delegating their authority,
president's not a figurehead.
Even on constitutionally mandated powers, the president can delegate his authority, and that might have been the case here.
An allegation that you say there's no, right? There's no evidence that supports that allegation. Every piece of testimony that's come before the committee so far by people who would be in the know have all said the president knew, he was aware, he directed. The president has said it since then, that he was aware and he knew and he directed.
Yeah, and
so
Scott, we were talking about this. We were talking about this in the break. I mean, one thing that could be done is you call the president and people around him to testify to explain his level of knowledge. My point is,
and they did. They all pled the fifth, bro, because they all know they're criminals.
I think every power has some way of being executed through other people in American government. If it's a broader question about was Joe Biden fit to be president, well, that's a political debate to be had. Congress can have it.
To me, it's just very simple. That what they have found is that there's no clear. They can't really document the decision-making chain of command. So you get the president's signature on documents and no clear paper trail of how he made that decision, who he told to affix his name to it. It's a legitimate investigation.
It is a legitimate investigation, and they're all melting down. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. After months of stonewalling, the truth is finally breaking through. This is not about a signature or a decision. It's about 4 years of systematic deception. Every new document the Oversight Committee uncovers deepens the constitutional crisis. Military orders, budget authorizations, judicial appointments, all potentially signed by nameless staffers while the actual president was incapacitated. The testimony revealed the auto pen was running on autopilot. Today's investigation shows it's worse than we imagined. Tomorrow we might learn the entire executive branch was a facade. Democrats know the walls are closing in. That's why they are desperately trying to shut down investigations into a former president after spending 4 years of persecuting a former president named Donald Trump. The hypocrisy is staggering. The implication is terrifying. So here's the question for the comment section. How many Biden signatures do you think were actually his? Comment your guess below. And you can support real journalism. Hit the Next News merch shop. Link in the description. All right. Oh, hey, what's up? Jeremy Olson, birthday boy, dropping $5. Happy birthday to you, sir. I wish happiness for all and also well-being. Happy birthday to you, Jeremy. Yeah, guys, look, we're at $59. We only need, call it 60, so we're what, like $40 away? $40. That means 4 people. We only have 4 people to drop $10, and we've cleared our super chat goal for the night. Will you be one of the 4? You're thinking about it. I know you are. You're looking at that little chat button down below, and you're going, I got $10. Okay, I'll throw $10 this way. I think these guys are worth it. Who will it be? And speaking of finances, we are going to get into the Federal Reserve. What are they doing now? Too little, too late, in my opinion. Let's go. Jerome Powell's days are numbered. President Trump just dropped the hammer on the Federal Reserve, announcing the Fed chair will be gone in a few months. After yesterday's desperate rate cut failed to mask economic reality, Trump made it crystal clear we are going to go back to the way it used to be No more market manipulation, no more fake soft landings, no more unelected bureaucrats controlling America's money. The Fed just admitted subprime auto defaults are surging. The balance sheet reduction is ending. They're pumping liquidity back into a dying system, and Powell knows it's over. Wall Street knows it's over. The only question is who Trump picks to drain the monetary swamp. Well, the revolution starts now, my friends. And while Powell's Fed destroys your purchasing power and Trump prepares to clean house, there is one investment that actually extends your life. C60 Evo, the Nobel Prize-winning molecule that made lab rats live 90% longer? Yeah, think about that. See, the Fed promises economic vitality while delivering death by inflation. This molecule delivers actual longevity. My brain fog disappeared. Joint pain I battled for years virtually eliminated. My wife's skin looks a decade younger. We feel 20 years younger. This isn't snake oil. It is 172 times more powerful than vitamin C. The scientist behind it, Chris Burris, he has manufactured this in his Houston lab since 1991. The Paris study showed the longest life extension ever recorded. So while the Fed prints your wealth away, C60 Evo adds years to your life. So visit c60evo.com/NNN for exclusive savings. Use code NNN at checkout because living 90% longer beats any Fed policy. Make sure you use NNN when you check out. So for the second time this year, Nick Sortor reports, the Federal Reserve has cut interest rates by 0.25%. This brings rates to 3.75 to 4%. And it should have been done a long time ago.
The markets have been... Okay, Fox News alert. We've got that key interest rate decision. It is out now. The Federal Reserve cutting interest rates by 25 basis points. That's a quarter point. And the markets have been rallying into this decision. The Dow up 150 points right now at another record high, although there's a bit of sell-off happening on the news, as does sometimes happen. Welcome to another hour of America. Okay.
The Federal Reserve delivered their second constructive interest rate reduction to support a softening labor market. Said they would stop shrinking the central bank's portfolio of assets on December 1st. Here's Bloomberg TV.
Target range to 3. A divided Fed cuts their benchmark lending rate by a quarter percentage point and says they are going to end QT December 1st. There are two dissents as policymakers reset the target range to 3 3/4 and 4%. No surprise, Stephen Byron dissents in favor of a 50 basis point cut as President Trump wants. And Kansas City Fed President Jeffrey Schmidt dissents on the other side in favor of no move. The Fed's administered rates for interest on reserves and the primary credit rate mechanically decreased by a quarter percentage point along with the Fed funds target. As for the balance sheet, the Fed will stop redeeming maturing Treasury securities at the end of November. Principal payments will be rolled over going forward. The mortgage cap of $35 billion a month remains in place, but as of December 1st, all principal payments on maturing agencies will be reinvested in Treasury bills. Fed officials gave a nod to the government shutdown in their economic assessment, noting that, quote, available indicators suggest that economic activity has been expanding at a moderate pace. Job gains have slowed this year, the statement says, and the unemployment rate has edged up but remained low through August. More recent indicators are consistent with these developments. They changed the tense on the balance of risks, noting downside risks to employment rose in recent months instead of have risen. And uncertainty about the economic outlook remains elevated, they say. There is no change to their forward guidance. The statement still says in considering additional adjustments to the target rate, they will consider many factors. Guys? A divided Fed.
Yes, Grok is here. Yes, at today's Fed press conference, Chair Powell noted rising defaults in subprime auto loans, but said they don't indicate broader credit issues amid a 25 basis point rate cut. That's according to the Fed Register. Fed Chair Powell on an AI bubble myth. Powell says in the presser, unlike the dot-com era when many were just ideas, today's companies have real earnings and real profits. In today's FOMC, the Fed cut rates by 0.25 and to 3.75 to 4. Citing moderate growth, slowed job gains, and elevated inflation, Powell highlighted risen employment risk. Future moves, data-dependent balance sheet runoff ends on December 1st. Here's President Trump.
To go up, not to. We're going to go back to the way it used to be. When we announce good news, the stock markets are going to go up. And that's the way it should be. And we're going to really ride that very hard. And when we announce good news, we're not going to have a Fed that's going to raise interest rates because they're worried about inflation in 3 years from now or something. When we announce good news, we want the stock market to go up, not to go down. And
we want the stock market to go up. And 24 hours ago, President Trump says, I'll be replacing Fed Chair Jerome Powell.
Jerome, I call him too late. He's always too late. He's been too late. And Jerome, too late Powell. So somebody gave me a bad reference on him. I put him in based on some guy that turned out to be not so hot. And we got a bad Fed guy, but he'll be out of there a few months. And we'll get somebody new. I guess, Scott, you have a long list of people that want it. If anybody has any suggestions, because we really do, we have, all the people that are being talked to. If you have a suggestion, just shout it out. Just shout it out. Mark, do you have a suggestion? Mark has some pretty good suggestions. You put me on the cover of Time magazine. That was a nice picture. Thank you very much for that. That was very good. It was a nice story, too. Thank you very much. I've been on the cover almost 50 times, but Mark, I can only use 17 of them. Meaning the rest of them aren't so good. 17 are great. This one was very good. This is going up. Now I have 18. Thank you very much. I'll see you in a little while. I call him too late. He's always too late. He's been too late. And Jerome, too late Powell.
Jerome, too late Powell. Too late. Well, here is Jerome, too late Powell.
Dual mandate goals. My colleagues and I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people. Although some important federal government data have been delayed due to the shutdown, the public and private sector data that have remained available suggests that the outlook for employment and inflation has not changed much since our meeting in September. Conditions in the labor market appear to be gradually cooling, and inflation remains somewhat elevated. In support of our goals and in light of the balance of risks to employment and inflation, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to lower our policy interest rate by 1/4 percentage point. We also decided to conclude the reduction of our aggregate securities holdings as of December 1. I will have more to say about monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments. Available indicators suggest that economic activity has been expanding at a moderate pace. GDP rose at a 1.6% pace in the first half of the year, down from 2.4% last year. Data available prior to the shutdown show that growth in economic activity may be on a somewhat firmer trajectory than expected, primarily reflecting stronger consumer spending. Business investment in equipment and intangibles has continued to expand, while activity in the housing sector remains weak.
Yeah,
the shutdown of the federal government will weigh on economic activity while it persists, but these effects should reverse after the shutdown ends.
Just end the frickin' Fed already, man. Like, seriously, end the Fed. The Fed isn't managing inflation anymore. It's managing illusion. Jerome Powell stands there pretending to be a calm voice of control while everyone from Trump to Wall Street knows the system is barely holding together. Talk about soft landings like it's science, but it's really just guesswork with trillion-dollar consequences. The truth is Powell and his team are trapped. If they raise rates, they break the debt machine that keeps the U.S. government and corporate America alive. If they cut rates, inflation roars back and exposes how fake the recovery really was. So they do what every empire does in decline, perform stability while everything beneath them cracks. The worst part is people like Yellen, even the big players at BlackRock and Goldman already know it. They're not trying to fix the system. They're just trying to make sure they own the collapse when it comes. The Fed isn't fighting for the economy anymore. It's fighting for the illusion that it still matters. That is a post by Intelligence. The Federal Reserve cutting interest rates, but it's time for them to just cut Jerome Powell's job for cause because they have it. Trump says Fed Chair Jerome Powell will be out in just a few months. Do you support Trump's plan to clean house at the Fed? Yes or no? Who should be the next Fed chair? I think we already know. Treasury Secretary Bissett. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is bigger than just replacing a bureaucrat. Trump's declaring war on the entire Federal Reserve System, the unelected fourth branch that's manipulated our money for over a century. Powell's pathetic rate cuts prove they've lost control. Subprime defaults climbing, banks hoarding cash, the soft landing narrative crashing harder than 29. But Trump sees the opportunity where others see chaos. While Powell plays monetary games, Trump's securing real production. Japan funding American shipbuilding, factories returning home, actual growth instead of printed prosperity. You see, the Fed thought they could manage America's decline, and Trump's about to show them what American resurgence looks like. No more worried about inflation 3 years from now. When Trump announces good news, markets will rise because the news is actually good, not because some academic in Washington pulled a lever. So here's the question. Who should Trump appoint to replace Powell? I say Congressman Paul. Ron Paul? Comment with your pick in the comment section. And we've got some Next News merch available. Links in the description. Check it out. Hey, look at you guys. Answering the call with some fiat. Johnny Rodriguez dropping $10, getting us closer to our goal. Thank you, Johnny. And Lone Star Gemini dropping $9.99, bringing us closer to our goal. That means we only need, right now, we need $21. 21. So we need 2 people to step up with a 10 spot and 1 person with a single dollar. Can you maybe dig in the couch or something? Help us hit our goal tonight? I know you can. I know you'll help us. You guys always come through. Who's going to put us over the top? I always like to see who's going to be the one. All right. We got some more news to get to as we roll into our final topic of the evening. Oh, yes. This is an interesting world that we are moving into. Oh, yeah. You guys ready for this? This is going to be interesting. What's up? Democrats are trash, dropping $1. So now we only need 2 people. No, we need 2 people. Yes, 2 people, $10 each. Whoa. Johnny Rodriguez coming in hot with a 20. We're literally 1 penny away. We are $99.99 at our goal. Johnny Rodriguez and Democrats are trash coming in, putting us to $99.99. Wait a minute. In the meantime, putting us over the top with the $10 drop in the jar. Thank you so much. $10 from In the Meantime. I love it. In the Meantime. Let me guess. You make memes? I love memes. Thank you for your work. Thank you for your support. All right. This next topic is crazy. The future just arrived on your doorstep, and it wants your job. Elon Musk dropping the bombshell that the Tesla Optimus robot will be the largest product ever to launch, bigger than the iPhone, more revolutionary than the automobile. Meanwhile, Norway's 1X technology is taking orders right now for their $20,000 neo-humanoid. This one will cook, it will clean, it will babysit your kids, all while some tech worker wearing a VR headset watches through its eyes. That's kind of creepy, right? Well, Musk is predicting that humanoid robots will outnumber humans. The economy will expand tenfold, but here's what they're not telling you. When machines do everything, what happens to human purpose? The age of the humanoids isn't coming. It's here. and it's about to change everything. And while Silicon Valley builds robots to replace humans, I'm using technology that enhances human potential. Red light therapy, the same NASA research breakthrough that's transforming lives without replacing them. After Jonathan Otto introduced this to me, everything changed. My energy skyrocketed, keeping up with any robot. My wife's chronic pain vanished. No mechanical caregiver needed. Recovery time cut by 70%, staying strong as these machines arrive. Major medical journals confirm 300% faster healing, brain regeneration. That's right, brain regeneration. Cellular optimization. Now, the humanoids might handle your chores, but this technology handles your health. 9 healing wavelengths, hospital-grade component, 0 EMF. The robots are coming for your job, but myredlight.com is coming for your ailments. Visit myredlight.com, use code NNN, because enhanced humans beat artificial ones. myredlight.com. Use code NNN at checkout and look at their payment options. Stay human and stay healthy. So this is the robot humanoid war is happening. Multiple companies are all producing these humanoid robots. Elon Musk with his Optimus, but this is by a company called 1X. This right here, Neo Beta, a humanoid robot for the home. 1X is an AI robotics company focused on creating humanoid robots that can work alongside humans in everyday settings. Okay, look at this. Oh boy. Now, I'm not going to play this music. We'll probably get dinged. But this robot, looks like she's getting ready to leave for work. Oh, here, please hand me my purse. Oh, hey, wait a minute. Are you serious? I thought I was going to give her a hug or something. That'd be even creepier. Introducing Neo Beta. Now, on October 12th, Tesla owners of Silicon Valley posted this video of the Optimus robot in action, catching a tennis ball, carrying trays, dancing, performing kung fu, serving popcorn. This is what's coming, folks. You're going to start seeing these. I already told my wife that I want to get one. I don't know. That would just be wild. Maybe I'll have him sit here and he could hang out and do the show with me. I don't know. Elon Musk says the future will include personal robots in every home, handling chores like mowing the lawn, walking the dog, and babysitting. Okay, so I don't need mowing the lawn. That's taken care of. I don't have a dog. Babysitting, my kids are getting old enough, so no, I don't need any of those things. Speaking of the Saudi-U.S. investment forum in Riyadh in May, Musk predicted personal robots will become as common as smartphones. He also compared them to having a real-life C-3PO or R2-D2, but even better. And that's what I'm going to, when I get mine, I'm going to have it wrapped to look exactly like C-3PO. I already told Angie, I said, Angie, I've always wanted an android. I've always wanted a droid just like Luke Skywalker had. How can you prevent or stop a man from achieving his childhood dream? Well, yeah. So you can call me Luke Skywalker when I get it. All right. Tesla first unveiled its first humanoid Optimus prototype in 2022. Musk says these machines could unlock massive economic growth, possibly expanding the global economy tenfold. You know what's crazy is several years ago, I bought a Timmy robot, T-E-M-I. You can look it up. Maybe I could see if I could find a video of what a Timmy is. It's basically like an Amazon Alexa with a big speaker, and it rolls around on wheels. But it's definitely not an Optimus. I was one of the first to get one. And then what happens? Then they come out with version 2.0 and then 3.0. And they keep upgrading these things, making my Timmy now completely obsolete. Let me see if I can get Robot Timmy. Let me see if I can find a video of Timmy here for you so you guys know what it is. Or you can look it up. Looks like they don't have, and I'm looking at their X account right now. I'm not seeing, surprisingly, not seeing. Okay, well, here's basically what it is. Let's see. They have a new feature, a flying one. It soars and glides through indoor spaces. Holy, come on. No. Okay, that's here. Let me just bring up this post for you. This is the Neo robot. This is okay, so this is what the Timmy looks like. Looks like that basically. But mine doesn't have like clothes and stuff. It's just like black. It's a pretty cool little robot. It'll patrol the house. You can set up points around the house and it will, patrol your house while you're gone. It's come in handy on several occasions. But it just makes, these Optimus robots, these 1X robots, Neo, makes Timmy completely obsolete. Okay, so here is Elon back in May.
Because you start getting into interesting questions of like, what's the ratio of humans to humanoid robots? I think it might be greater than 1-to-1. Because you could sort of see a home use for robots, certainly industrial uses for robots, humanoid robots. I think we might exceed a 1-to-1 ratio of humanoid robots to humans. It's not even clear what an economy means at that point. Since an economy is output per person times persons, but if output is much higher and there's no limit on persons, then what's the actual limit on the economy? We're still pretty far from Kardashev scales here, but we're getting there. So anyway.
Okay, so this is how these robots map your homes. How do robots understand the environment? How do robots know where they are at the current time? Now, my Timmy robot does this exact thing. As you can see in this video, it has a LiDAR, and that's exactly what it does. When it goes and maps my home, it travels around and maps the entire environment, so it knows where the tables are, knows where the couches are, and understands where the obstacles are. Even if there's something in the way, it can detect that in the future, even though it's already mapped it. It can detect openings, as you can see. Fascinating technology. And this is clearly going to be deployed in all of these robots, but is this something that you think you'd want to see? I know I'm excited for it, but, maybe it's a little bit creepy. Here's a human morphic robot. They're already here. Let's see, is there audio on this? That's too creepy right there. A creepy robotic head has eerily human-like facial expressions. That's just way creepy. I don't know, man. I don't know if I want something like that. Here's another one. This is the Helix. Our in-house AI that reasons like a human.
Hey, Figures, can you come here? Okay, I'd like to try something new. Even though this is the very first time that you've ever seen these items, I'd like you to use your new Helix AI and try to reason through where you think they belong in the scene, and then work together to put them away. Does that sound good?
Yeah. Here's more. This is more from the Neo. You can pre-order it for $200. Costs $20,000. Arriving in 2026. Neo humanoid housekeeper robot controlled remotely by a human with a VR headset, available now for pre-order. So you could put on an actual headset and you can control it. Wow, it's wiping the countertop. It's putting dishes away. Oh, it didn't get that one. Oh my goodness, man. Oh, yeah. Little more practice, Neo. Here is it picking up a shirt.
Pick up the messy shirt. Pick up the messy shirt. Matt. Oh my God, he's picking up the messy shirt.
Reset.
Oh, you squat like a mug, boy. Ooh, dude, that's a squat. Pick up the messy shirt. Pick up the messy shirt. You can do it. Pick it up. Pick it up. You got it. You almost there, Robert. Pick up the messy shirt.
Can't get the shirt.
Pick it up. Yup.
Oh,
you almost there. Pick up the messy shirt.
Whoa.
Okay.
That's just creepy, man.
Trash.
The trash?
Yes, the trash, Robert.
That's
Pick up
just
the messy
creepy,
shirt.
the way it was moving like that. Oh my, I think we have some more. Here is a video on the Neo.
AI and advanced hardware to help with daily chores and Neo is a humanoid companion designed to transform your life at home. It combines AI and advanced hardware to help with daily chores and bring intelligence into your everyday life. Neo was engineered from the ground up for safety. Its tendon-driven body is quiet and lightweight. Its low-energy motions make it uniquely safe for you and your home. But safe doesn't mean limited. Neo's hardware comes packed with features like human-level dexterity and a 55-pound carrying capacity so that it can handle any of your chores reliably. We also worked really hard to make Neo's design friendly and comfortable to be around. Each Neo comes with a machine-washable knit suit, a head, and shoes that you can customize to fit your style. As for using your Neo, we made the experience simple. Out of the box, the core of your experience is fully autonomous. The chores feature lets you schedule a time for your Neo to do all of your chores so you can come back to a cleaner home every day. With the AI companion feature, you can talk to your Neo to get assistance with anything from a hard question to a household task. With Neo's autonomy, you can get access to all of its latest AI features to get help with tasks on demand. And the Neo app lets you interact with your Neo from anywhere. But all you have to do to get started is turn on your Neo and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Neo. I'm here to help around the house. What's your name?
Harry.
Nice to meet you, Harry. When you have a question or want something done, just let me know.
We built the chores feature to give you your time back. You give your Neo a list of chores, you schedule a time that you want them done so that you can focus on what matters to you while your Neo does the rest. You can schedule chores by either talking to your Neo or using the app. The way it works is you schedule a time that works best for you, and then you create a list of chores. Whether it's something more specific, like watering the plants on Tuesdays, or something more general, like tidying the house, your Neo will get it done at the scheduled time. If there are any chores that your Neo hasn't learned how to do autonomously, you can use expert mode to have an expert from 1X supervise the session and provide corrective intervention to help Neo complete any task. Anytime you're away from home and you want to see what your Neo's up to, you can open the app and see directly from Neo's point of view.
I don't think I've seen it go upstairs yet. I mean, you saw it trying to pick up that shirt. Can it go upstairs? It must be able to. Okay, washing the dishes, having a conversation, watering the plants. Not seeing anything about it. I didn't see it walk upstairs. Can we get it to walk upstairs? Can you show us the video of that, please? 1X Neil's humanoid has the lowest latency VR teleoperation I've ever seen, says Will. Yeah.
All right, let's dance together.
Oh my goodness.
Robot, robot, robot.
If you stop moving, just hit the stop button.
All right.
Go back in. Sorry. Yeah. One time.
Like that?
Yeah. And then stand still so I can catch up to you.
All right.
There.
Roll.
You're good now.
All right. Let's dance together.
That's just nuts.
Robot, robot, robot.
If you stop moving, just hit the stop
I mean, I
button.
think the clothing makes it a little creepy. You know, like I want mine to look like C-3PO, but I mean, maybe put some like regular clothes so it doesn't look like some, I don't know what you call it, but anyway, if you got value from this report tab, subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is the crossroads of human civilization. Musk talks about exceeding 1-to-1 ratios, more robots than people. He asks what an economy even means when machines do all the work, but I'll tell you what it means, the end of human dignity through labor. When your worth isn't tied to your work, when robots serve your every need, when some creep can watch through your home's robot eyes, we've crossed into dangerous territory. They're selling convenience but delivering surveillance, promising prosperity but ensuring dependence. The $20,000 price tag isn't the cost, perhaps your privacy is. Maybe your purpose. Maybe your humanity is. The figure AI says their robots reason like humans, but humans don't just reason. We create, we dream, and we rebel. No algorithm captures that. Here's my question for you in the comments. Would you let a humanoid robot live in your home? Yes or no? Comment below. You get real human-made merch. You'll find it linked in the description. Yeah. Okay. What do you guys think? Cyberdyne Model 1. Mammy Bot. You guys are funny, man. No way, you guys are saying. No way. Should I get one? Should I have a robot as a co-host? What do you guys think? I'll take the robot sweeper for now. Yeah, a lot of people, we've already got those little robots that roll around and do the vacuuming, sweeping up, mopping. Should I get one? No. That's an emphatic no. Oh boy. Definitely a really bad idea. I bet it would scare your kids. First all-robot band. That's hilarious. Ed says, I'm disabled, so maybe. Yeah, imagine what it would be able to do to help disabled folks. James is like, no! Name it Robotin. How about Robiden? No, it may turn on you. Gary, you can't support our end. You can't support our end, but that is what is coming. Slave bot. No way, Jose. Wife says no, says Johnny. Remember Hal? Oh, yes, I do. Oh, there you have it, folks. 5 stories that prove we're living through the controlled demolition of American society. Day 29 of the snap shutdown, and they've turned 42 million Americans into potential rioters. Empty stomachs don't negotiate. They don't compromise. They explode. And when those food stamp cards stop working, if they start working again, every recipient will know their survival depends on government mercy. That's not assistance. That is called control. Meanwhile, in Chicago, Greg Bovino showing us what actual leadership looks like. 3,000 arrests while a rogue judge tries to break him. While Pritzker builds hit lists, while Brandon Johnson calls law enforcement racist for doing their job. But here's the beautiful thing. Bovino doesn't care. He's got a mission. No amount of lawfare is going to stop him. Operation Midway Blitz continues. The border comes first, and so does America. Then we learned the last 4 years were basically a forgery. Biden never ran anything. Staffers with an auto pen ran the country while the big guy shuffled around the residence. Every signature is now suspect. Every decision is questionable. Every executive order potentially invalid. It's not just fraud. It's the biggest constitutional crisis since the Civil War. And the media response, stop investigating and move on. Nothing to see here. But Trump isn't moving on. He's moving in on the Federal Reserve. Jerome Powell, pack your bags. The era of managed decline is over. No more manipulating markets. No more printing prosperity. No more pretending inflation is transitory while Americans can't afford groceries. You see, Trump wants real growth, real jobs, and real money. And he's going to get it. And looming over everything, the machines. $20,000 humanoids ready to cook your dinner, raise your kids, and report back to their corporate masters. Musk says they'll outnumber us. Change the very meaning of economy, but I'll tell you what they really change. They change what it means to be human. When machines do all the work, what's left for us? When every home has a mechanical spy, where's the privacy? When robots reproduce faster than people, who inherits the earth? 5 stories, one theme. The systematic replacement of everything real with everything fake. Real food with government cards. Real borders with political theater. Real presidents with signature machines. Real money with Fed fiction. Real humans with silicon substitutes. But you know what? We're still here. We're still fighting. And we're still human. So thank you to everyone who sent in super chats tonight. Thank you for the Rumble rants. You guys were on fire. You helped us hit our goal. Lone Star Gemini, Johnny Rodriguez, Jeremy Olson, Dan Thompson. In the meantime, all you guys, help us hit our goal tonight. Thank you. And if you want to support us in another way, you can go to the merch shop and you can support real independent journalism. Links are in the description. I promise I have some new designs coming. Working on that right now. Right meow. This has been the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi reminding you they can fake signatures, they can manipulate money, and they can build robots, but they can't fake the truth. We'll be back tomorrow to prove it. We'll see you then.